Hello and welcome to another edition of Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, joining me today is my co-host, Angela Andrieux. Hello, Angela.
Hey, Vanelli. Good to see you this Friday afternoon.
Oh, it's great to see you too. So, Angela, what do we have on our schedule for today?
So today is our weekly wrap-up where we go over the episodes that we did earlier in the week and the topics. For me, that's going to be how to create a moody and weathered look and how to remove color casts from old scan family photos. Vanelli's going to be talking about how to download and install templates packs and how to find pockets of light in concert and low light photography. So some really fun stuff this week.
Oh, that's awesome. And now coming out next week, we're excited that update 2 will be released. We're not supposed to say the exact date, but we will say next week. Look for
Yes.
it. And the easiest way to look for it, honestly, is when you're inside your program, inside Luminar. In fact, let me switch screens for a minute. When you're inside Luminar, from here for Windows people, just click Help, check for updates, and you'll find it. But typically, it doesn't just pop up right when you launch Luminar. So if
It should, but if it doesn't, then you can always check that way.
So if you're like us or like Russell, go in and just constantly hit that update and see if the update's available for you. All right.
Yeah, I just want to say quick hello to Russell and to JGmail28. Glad you guys are joining us today. Always fun to see your names pop up.
Awesome.
Vanelli, do you want to kick us off with some installing templates?
All right, I'll do that. Let me share my screen here. All right, so with the templates, what's really cool about this is on our marketplace, we have an entire, we have a huge amount and variety of templates you can install. So from here, just go to File. Let's see. I'm sorry, there's two places. Sorry, Angela. There we go. So the two places that they were looking at, the one is they moved it on me that I wanted to show. Here it is. I'll go here instead. Here we go. Help. Now, that's it. So under Help, from here, we're going to go to Luminar Marketplace. All right. So under Help, just go to Luminar Marketplace. That's going to kick off and show our marketplace here. 1 second. Sorry. I was ready for the concert photography. There. No problem. So Angela and I like to do this to each other. So here we are.
Gotta keep Vanelli on his toes.
Yeah. Now my mind is set. All right, so here we are on the Luminar Marketplace. These are a lot of the signature templates that we have that are available. Now, if you're a Luminar X member, come over to your membership. Right here. Luminar X membership, and here you can download your free templates that are here. Now, what's really cool about this is I'm going to come back to the marketplace. What's really cool about this is that in marketplace, excuse me, it'll tell you if this is included in your Luminar AI membership. So let's say you like this gloomy twilight, you want to download it, but you realized, oh, it's already included in it. You've already paid for it with that membership. Then come back over. Get rid of that. Then go back over to your marketplace. Or I'm sorry, your membership. Here we go. I didn't go up a bit. Come over to your Luminar membership, and you can download it from there. There we go.
Now, one thing to note with that is if you don't see that template pack that you're looking for in your Luminar X membership yet, it's because it hasn't been part of your monthly delivery yet. So they're spaced out throughout the year. You don't get everything all at once. I know that's a bummer. You have to wait sometimes. But if that one that you're looking for isn't in there yet, it'll be included in a future delivery. So keep your eye on your email for those new ones that are available to you.
All right, thank you, Angela, for that. All right, so I'm looking over here, and let's do this one right here. I'm going to download it. And once it's downloaded, what I'm going to do There's a couple steps. This, especially on Windows, I have to remember where this is located. So I'm just going to click on Show in Folder. So now my show comes up. Wow, I didn't realize how many, what I have in my downloads folder.
Downloads folder can get out of hand pretty quick. Usually if somebody's saying they're running out of hard drive space, I tell them to clean up their downloads folder first.
Wow, this is taking a lot longer. Now I am running off of an external drive, so that has something to do with it too. But in this case, there we go. So here we are. I got it right here, and I've already downloaded it before. That's fine. Now I'm going to copy it. So right click, copy. Now that I have it, I know where it's at. I'm going to go back into Luminar, and from here, what I need to do is find where is my downloads folder, or I'm sorry, my templates folder. So if I come over to templates, and any of the templates that I've created or that you've created, if you click, you'll see here where it says Show in Explorer. Or if you're on a Mac, it'll say Show in Finder. So now my user templates, this is where they're installed. All right? I'm going to back out just a little bit. And here's the purchase templates. I'm going to double click on it. Now right click, because we already copied it. Now what I want to do is I want to paste it into this location. I need to unzip all of it. So extract all. And then once I extract it, I don't need the zip file anymore, so I can delete it. Now under this here, there should be 2 additional zip files. One for Luminar 4 and the other one for AI. So same thing, let me just extract it. And then, there it is. I don't need it, so I can delete that. And while I'm here, I might as well extract the 4. There we go. And again, I don't need that zip either. Now, this is where I have my my template. All right. Now, what I like to do, honestly, from this point here, I just right-click here, cut it, and I like it to be in the very root folder. So the moment I click Captivate, paste, I like it right there. All right. Again, that's just me, and I'm going to delete that for now. All right. So now that I have it there, I'm able to place it. What I'm going to do is close down my templates from Luminar because it doesn't recognize it yet, and then relaunch Luminar. And once it relaunches, then it's going to find it and put it where it needs to go. Now, that was one way of doing it. That's where I can just bring it in. Another way would be just to extract it, and then we're going to use, this is for Windows 10, because Mac, what's really cool about the Mac version, you can just double click on it and it automatically installs it for you. With Windows, we have to do a few extra steps, which is, again, it's the operating system. It has nothing to do with Luminar. Here we come over, File, and Install, add Luminar Template Collection. So then, for what we just did there, we would go and we would locate where we installed that, and then, which, let me close out for a minute, just to make it easier to remember. We'll come over here to my templates and Show in Explorer. All right, so this is where my templates are located. Now, remember how we just installed that template? I showed you the manual way of doing it. Well, if I look over here to the purchase ones, notice it's right here. All right, So I'm showing you two ways. I'm sorry, I should have made that clear in the very beginning. Two ways of doing it. One way is to walk it through the way I just did, because now I know exactly where that is located. Or the other way is just come in here, File, add Luminar templates, but you have to remember where you downloaded it, extract it, and then install it. All right? So, yes, Russ, very similar to the zip. So let me get back to it. Oh my God, I am so sorry. I fumbled a little bit there because, again, Angela threw me the wrong one. No, because there's two ways of doing it. I showed you my way of doing it, and I showed you the official way. The official way is to go over, File, install templates. That's easier said than done. Now the support side of me says, we tell you to do that, but people forget to unzip that file, and they say it's not working. So I wanted to make it perfectly clear, or they say, I don't know where the file is. So you have to know right when you download that file, where is it? In my case, it was the downloads folder, and in the downloads folder, I know I'm not sharing my screen. I just want to make sure it's not going to take forever. So yeah, so in my downloads folder is where I had it, but you have to extract it. And once it extracts, then you know where it is, go back in. Oh my God, yes, Russell, this is the zip all over again.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's move on to something a little easier and maybe more fun to digest than organizing of templates. If you want to go ahead and share my screen.
Yep, you're all set.
Awesome. All right, so this is a photo that I captured about 11 years ago in Ragusa Ebla, Sicily. Beautiful old building. And what I wanted to do was really bring out all of the patina and detail and decay on this gorgeous old building. Let me show you the original here. Let's get that out of the way. All right, so here's the original, the before, and then here's the after. Now I have a template that I'll copy and paste into the chat here in just a couple of minutes. Actually, I might need to have Vanelli do that. Doesn't look like I have access to paste into the chat, but there's a, I have a link so you can download the template that I created for this. So I will go into templates and into my templates. This one's called Moody and Weathered. So I can go ahead and click that, and that adds my template. If you feel like it's a little bit too strong for your subject, you can always go down to the bottom and pull that back a little bit and decrease the amount of the effect. Now, what I want to show you with this image is if you go into edit, the two tools that really make the biggest difference in creating a moody and weathered effect, if you want to make your own template or you just want to, edit on the fly, the biggest ones are going to be Structure AI and Dramatic. So let's first go up here to Structure. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and turn that tool off and then back on, and you'll see how much detail that brings out. It really makes all of that, the evidence of the water damage over the years, maybe that's a little bit of mildew growing in certain areas, all those little tiny textures and details, it really makes them come out. Now, if we go down to Dramatic, this is a great tool also for bringing out details, but it desaturates a little bit and gives it that drama, hence the name. So we can turn that off. And you'll see it just looks a little bit more cheerful. So this is where we get that moody look, that kind of dark day, weathered, bring out that moodiness. And that's what we get with drama. So if you want to create your own template or you just want to edit from scratch, the two tools that are going to make the biggest difference for moody and weathered look are going to be Dramatic and Structure AI. Those ones are two of my favorites when I'm editing an image like this where I really want to bring out that age and patina. So when I get a chance, either in the comments or into the chat, I'll see if I can get that link for you. So this is a really fun template to go ahead and play with, and it works for a variety of subjects, but definitely when you want to bring out that moody, weathered look. So what do you think about that, Vanelli?
That was very good. Good. So you saw how I struggled with the template, only because, again, when I get thrown off, like I have in my head exactly the procedure we're going to go. Whenever I get thrown off, I'm like, wait a second, what? So, no, I love that look. I love structure, a lot of structure and detail. So I apply a lot of that to my images. With yours, the one that you had there, I can see me using it, for some of my architectural stuff.
Right. Now I'm going to go ahead and put into our Slack chat that link.
All right.
If you have the option to put this into the chat, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So if you
So
want to
that way
send
we
it
can
to me,
share that. And that's a
oh, good.
download link for downloading that one specific user template.
All right. What I'll do is I'll share the concert. I'll do the concert one now, and then I'll slip that into the chat when you're doing yours.
Perfect.
All right. Here we go. Ah. Now I feel comfortable. All right, so here we are with pockets of light. So whenever you're photographing, let me do this real quick. So whenever you're photographing in low light situations, you gotta have light. You gotta find the light, look where it's at, and then position yourself to get that light into your scene. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Look at Caddy. She's so just adorable. Here's the light. It looks great. Look at it. Here she is here. Here's Tom. But notice there's no light behind him. All right? In the very beginning, when I was looking for the light, I mean, this is just gesture. He's being crazy. It's an okay photo. There's no light involved. So it just looks like a dead, dull image. Same thing here. His gesture is great, but man, if we had some of that light like this, it adds to the scene because it tells you where they are. So when I first got there, Caddy was no problem. She's a lead singer. I know where she's going to be. I saw the light. Tom's off in this little nook area, kind of like isolated. So here, finding the light for him was difficult. The drummer's in the back. Here are Caddy again. I love this shot of her. Now, keep in mind, Caddy is very animated. All right, I love how she gets animated like this, or animated. And that's because I'll signal her while she's performing. We have a connection when I'm shooting. I'll do stuff like this, or if I mess something up, I do something funny. She repeats it, and that's our connection. You're not always going to have that. Especially if you're photographing your children's dance recital, you can't interfere with what they're doing, but you can try to find those pockets of light. So that's what we talked about here, Angela. And then notice the light in this situation. Like I said, it's not the greatest. Now, if we go to the band, the Far East Movement, this was brought on, this was in New York City. This was sponsored either by HP or Microsoft. I can't remember. Here we go. Now, huge difference. They had a lot of money to spend in lighting. My favorite one of this is here. All right? So, I mean, because what happens is, the lights and the way you're shooting it adds to the production of the image, all right? Now, when you're photographing in concert, this microphone is your biggest enemy. I was on the other side of him, and there's that microphone just sticking out of his head, and it's frustrating, but just moving a few feet off to the side, to the other side, and then snapping the shot from this angle, got rid of it, all right? So here we are, the original, and what I did. So we find pockets of light. Once we find it, if it's not in the exact position that we want it to be in, now we're going to use Luminar AI to modify or position the light where I want. And here we just used a variety of tools. Obviously, the very first one is that vignette. Look at that. That alone does most of the heavy lifting. So that vignette, I was able to choose the subject here, dial in my amount, and now instantly the light is going to be drawn towards him. All right? So there we have it, Angela. When dealing with low light situation, find the light first, and then if you have to, massage it or enhance it inside Luminar.
Great tips. Yeah, shooting in low light, concerts, things like that, it's very challenging. Even if you have a pass, you're press and you're able to get in there and do that, you have some pretty strict guidelines you have to follow, and trying to capture those shots it takes a specific talent. So
Yeah.
bravo on doing that.
Yeah. Now the bad part, on the flip side of that is when you're photographing children, like in concert in their dance recitals and stuff. There's no rules, so to speak. And people don't realize it. And one of the biggest things I notice, you have to turn off AI or auto assist lighting. You have to turn that off, because when you're in a dark situation like that, the moment you press that shutter speed down, this huge, powerful beam of light, boom, shoots out, and it tries to light up some of the subjects around so you can take the picture.
Right.
Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times you're sitting up in the bleachers, you look down, and a person taking pictures is illuminating the first 4 rows of people with that beam trying to get to the stage. So turn that off, get up there, snap, snap, snap. Remember, well, I'm kind of a big guy, so I'm more of a wall than a window. So bip, 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 get out of there so people can see. Take a few seconds, take some more shots, move out. I find it, if I'm photographing like an event like that or sports like that in low light, I always take pictures of other family members, other friends too. So at the end, I can give them those images and say, hey, so if they were upset in the stands, like, oh man, I can't take a good picture, that huge guy's in front of me, they feel like, oh, well, hey, I can leave my camera at home. Vanelli will get these pictures. That's just one way of pleasing other people.
Well, that's a good tip. I mean, it's always interesting at a concert when, especially a concert in a large arena, big venue. We're not talking about somebody's kids, and this can apply there too, but we're talking about larger arenas, and everybody's got their cell phone out trying to take a picture. And it's like, anytime I try to take a picture with my cell phone in that kind of event, even with a really good iPhone, they're just blurry messes, and everyone's trying to take video and take pictures. And it's like, there's a professional photographer down there getting amazing images. You are not going to get that with your cell phone. Please turn them off. So it drives me nuts at concerts. It was like, please turn off your cell phones in front of me.
Well, it's not so much the cell phone, it's the flash, especially if you're like 70 feet away and you try to take a flash, I'm sorry, more than 70 feet. You're like 300 feet away in the nosebleed section. That flash is not going to hit the stage.
Oh, no,
a
never.
bunch of bald people like me. You'll see a bunch of our heads.
Right, no, more what I'm talking about is everybody's got their screens, facing the audience behind them, and they're taking their video. So that, like, you have this bright light in front of you, but you're trying to watch the stage. Anyway, pet peeve of mine, totally different subject.
Gotcha. All right, here we go, Angela. I got yours.
All right. So the other topic we had this week, and Vanelli stepped in and covered for me yesterday, so I could take a day off, which was awesome. But I believe what he talked about was how to remove color cast from scanned family photos. And we had 3 images that we worked with that had 3 distinct problems. This one was very yellowed. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the before and then the after. And the way that I fixed this image was a combination of, in here in our light tool, working with the white balance. And in an image like this, you want to take that white balance from something you think is supposed to be kind of a middle gray or white. It's never going to be exact in a photo like this. This isn't meant to be a representation of, precise truth like you would need in a catalog or something like that. But it gets you a little bit closer. It takes away some of that color toning. The other thing that I did was here in the color tool, we have a tool here specifically called Remove Color Cast. And this does amazing stuff. So if I go ahead and turn that off and then turn that on again, you'll see that just by pulling back a little bit on the vibrance and bringing up that remove color cast, we got rid of a lot of that yellowing. So we're much closer to a natural image or a little bit repaired image. I don't think that because the dyes and the inks, they degrade over time, it's never going to be back to exactly what was first there, but this gets us a lot closer. The last thing I did in this image was to bring back a little bit more of a natural skin tone. And I did that with a local masking tool, and I added the basic local mask, and I warmed up my brush, and then I painted it in over our subject here. So if I turn that off, it's very subtle, and then turn it back on again, it just gives her a little bit more natural looking skin tone. With that off, I kind of felt she looked a little, the tone was almost a little kind of grayish green. It's not the most flattering, but by adding a little bit more warmth to her, it just feels a little bit more alive. So that's how I managed to go from here to here, which I think is a much stronger image. Let me show you a couple of other images that I had to work with. And these were all submitted by one of our AI insiders over in our insiders community. If you're not already a member there, make sure you go check it out. It's at insiders.skylum.com. Wonderful, wonderful community. So these were family members, old family photos from one of our members there. He submitted it because he was looking for help in making these images, restoring them and making them, preserving them for future generations. So this one I really loved. Now, if we take a look at the original, it's very faded, and it was obviously originally a monochrome image. Now you could keep it a sepia if you wanted. In this case, I decided to take it pure black and white. And over here in my edit tool, go back here to the tools, the biggest thing I did here besides converting it to black and white was I used the structure tool. And this did amazing things to bring out facial features and just add definition. If I turn that off, you'll see it's so faded. You turn it on and it'll just pop off the page. Now, I did get some feedback. Some people didn't like that it also enhanced the scratches around the edges. You could use the masking brush to lessen the effect around the edges if you wanted to. When they pop off the screen like this, those scratches really don't bother me. The only ones that are really a problem to me are some of these bigger ones, and I probably would go in with the erase tool and try to very carefully get rid of some of these larger scratches. The other damage to this image with all of these other smaller scratches and just other degradation, there's not a whole lot you can do to save that, short of taking it into Photoshop and spending hours and hours and hours fixing each one of those scratches. It's possible, but I'm not sure it's the best use of your time. And frankly, I like the texture that this has brought in personally. Like I said, I would remove some of the larger scratches, but otherwise I love this image, and I love how we're able to go from this rather flat, faded, damaged image to this one. You can just see the expressions on people's faces so much more clearly. So that's one way to deal with a very faded, already monochrome image. Now, the third one we had to work with was this one here. And let me show you the original. Now, this one is one where the colors, the dyes, the inks are so far degraded. No matter what I did, I wasn't able to get rid of those red undertones. I worked with it quite a bit. If we go over to the edit tab here and into our history, you can see I did a lot of stuff trying to get rid of those color casts. And eventually I came to the conclusion that converting it to a monochrome and then adding a little bit of toning to just give it a little bit of extra tone, so you can see it has a little bit of warmth to it. It's still a monochrome, but it's a little bit of a warm monochrome. I did that by converting it to black and white, and then going down to the toning tool and adding a little bit of a tone to it. And it just adds to the image, the mood, and the feel of it, and I think takes it that extra small step. And I like looking at this. I feel like the story is there. You can see the faces better, whereas in the original that we have with the colors so broken down, all I really see is the red. It's hard to really see past that and really see what was going on in the scene. Whereas we take that color out of it, it takes away that distraction. And that's one way that you can preserve images like this. So what do you think, Vanelli? Is there a different way that you took it and when you demoed it?
Yeah, I did slightly different. Well, we went down the same path, and I'm glad you used the tone tool. That was cool. Here, I chose to do the mood tool, a LUTs, and now I can visually see, the difference.
Oh, those look, yeah, that's really cool.
So, and it's the same thing what you did. The only difference is with your toning, you did it manually here.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying I'm lazy, but but the tone.
No, but I like that approach.
Yeah, the mood tool, somebody else has done it for me. So,
Nice.
well, there we have it.
There we have it. Well, we have a comment there. It looks like somebody's very happy with Luminar AI. That's always awesome to hear. Been using Luminar every day for about a month now and absolutely love it. Keep up the awesome job. We'll make sure we send that note to our developers and our tech team because they deserve all of the credit for making such an awesome product. I think that's great.
And notice on the bottom there, Angela, I did get the link in for you. So luminar.tips/Moody template. And you can download that compliments of Angela.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Have fun with that.
Awesome.
All right, everyone. Well,
so next week,
I hope you guys.
Next week we're going to be excited to hopefully touch base and talk about some of the features of Luminar Update 2. And we have a whole week full of special surprises for you. And if I'm not mistaken, you have a special guest coming next week, don't you?
We do. We actually have a special guest joining me here in studio to talk about some macro photography. There's going to be some beautiful images to hopefully inspire you, as well as behind the scenes tips and tricks for kind of sparking the creativity, doing some tabletop work. And I think you'll come away inspired.
Awesome. Well, great. Angela, it was great seeing you as always. And
good to see you too, Vanelli.
For everyone else, we can't wait to see you on the next coffee break.